gents, from the pimps that we smoke to the rent that we pay. It's just another way to say that we are all under the umbrella of corporations that see us as a dollar because we show ourselves that way. Talking about them swagging that shit grinding every day. Do you really know how stupid we looking? We need to take back now before everything took in the prisoner with no booking while Uncle Sam is saluting. Fuck that. Mind knowing to bust back, whether with war or a scrap. I attack the fact that we are a nation of free, but we have been taken to modern day slavery, mesmerized by celebrities. I won't let it be. What has been fed it to me, I throw up. Over the years, things have been made clear. The rich, they rich, and the poor get poor. While we trip over Ford Explorers, caddies, 22s, and bumps. Fuck y'all stupid, sticking up your dumb. Like Popeye, you need a hit of this spinach to finish the demonic plutonic feed from this government. Fuck them, they all on that Mitch-ish. In these streets, fuck NWO, no justice, no peace, no justice, no peace. Motherfuck you and fuck the police and fuck the government, no justice, no peace. Applaud when they speak like a dog on they leash. Nigga, you got 3 eyes, keep 2 on me. Cause ain't no love in the hearts of these 10 men. I stand with the heart of like 10 men. So motherfucker, go ease on down. Take a look behind the wheel, see who running the town. Political, mass deception, even elections are fucking lied about in the interest of your protection. What gives them erections is telling people they free, but when you vote, they don't count your selections. So what are you protecting? Your rights of perception. Damn the medicine, they rather spread the infection. MLK, and I guess I got a death wish, cause I have a dream and I ain't talking about deception. I lay awake at night smoking on some potent shit, wishing Babylon would fall so we could just get it over with. It's evident the evidence show failure of lungs. Thought he was killed by your seal, you dumb. My country, tears of thee. Whatever happened to the sweet land of liberty? It was sold to the highest bidder contender on Wall Street. Fucking WO. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Motherfuck you and fuck the police and fuck the government. No justice, no peace. Applaud when they speak like a dog on they leash. Nigga, you got 3 eyes, keep 2 on me. Cause ain't no love in the hearts of these 10 men. I stand with the heart of like 10 men. So motherfucker, go ease on down. Take a look behind the wheel, see who running the town.
All right. Welcome back. For those who are just now finding me, who are new to the page, welcome in general. Much love to you all. My name is Max the Don, aka Akhenaten, aka Tutankhamun, aka Tahuti's son, which means I shine through the wisdom. Why so many names? Because I have many titles, just like the Most High, just like many of the greatest who people probably would have never understood, but all worked for my people. So yeah, I have many titles, and they contribute to the strength in my life, you know. That's just a little jewel that I just dropped. You dig what I'm saying? Know who you are. That's 1. 2, be who you are. Don't let nobody stop that. But today is a very, very, very important and special broadcast here, because there's a lot of things going on that people aren't talking about. There's a lot of things going on that people aren't talking about. And it's all due to the cockiness, the disrespectful nature of a person who shouldn't have been where they was and shouldn't have had what they had, but yet they did, and now we're here. If you guys watched the last broadcast that I did, I actually brought up a few things that was going on. So today, we're going to go over why those things are actually going on. Yes, let's get there. Let's get there. Remember yesterday, excuse me, not yesterday, the other day when I posted the last broadcast, I was talking about how gun charges dropped against Rittenhouse was sparking debates on whether Wisconsin should change their laws. Gun laws, to be specific. So, one of the things that I stated about this situation was most likely he's saying this because black people are going to look at this case and see the precedent that was set and follow suit. If you don't believe me, go back and watch my last broadcast. And see, I come across some information that I wasn't privy to in the last broadcast, but since I'm your brother and I'm going to be here to serve you guys, just like we should be in the area in which we are when we're giving information. We're not supposed to be here to serve self. We're supposed to be here to serve you. We're supposed to be here to serve you, and anyone that you see serving self or serving self purposes or serving other purposes outside of the revolution, because the revolution will not be televised. It will only be passed from ear to mouth, from mouth to ear. But they're not going to televise our revolution. Hell no. What they're going to do is fight against it and televise that. But this situation is actually a great win. It's a win. Winning. I wish I had a big W on black people's foreheads for winning, because that's what we're doing in this situation. Because this situation, like Hillary's situation when she ran for president, everybody knew about Hillary and her comments about black people. So black people wasn't messing with her. That wasn't the case. And we wasn't dealing with you. And even the little Sambos and Uncle Little Ruckuses that went out there to vote for Hillary, you didn't have enough of them for her to take the presidency, and that was gorgeous. Because we let the establishment know right then and there that our power isn't based in you. Our power is based in us. And if we say so, it'll happen. And if we don't say so, it won't happen. That was the first instance that the Democratic Party was able to actually look at themselves and say, well, why didn't she win? But they already knew why she didn't win. They already knew why she didn't win. And there's a lot more information coming out on Russiagate that, you know, the Clintons had everything to do with the propaganda that circled around it. This isn't me. You can look it up for yourself. But I say that to say this. People are waking up and they don't like it. So I wanted to bring up, drop gun charges against Kyle Rittenhouse sparks debates if Wisconsin laws should be updated. Now, we're not going to go into this. We're going to go into this. Yes. Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer says there's too many guns in our society. Now, you know, before we dig deep into this article, we've already spoken about this a little bit in the prior broadcast that I did. The man who actually defended a terrorist shooter, because that's what he is. He's a terrorist shooter. No matter what the court say, no matter what the jury says, he's a terrorist shooter, because his own statements and admissions in that court case stated he wasn't there to protect property, even though he lied to say that he did. He lied to the police to say that he was EMTs when he was on the stand. It came out that he was lying then. He lied to the police officer saying that he was there to protect property and these people asked him to come to protect his property, and it came out on the stand that he was lying about that. Then it came out that he was talking about shooting black people and wish he could shoot. A video came out with his own voice talking about how he wish he can go and shoot the people that he thought was, I guess, stealing from a store, rioting and then stealing from a store. He filmed it and said, I wish I had my effing AK, bro. Excuse me, my effing AR. I would let off shots at them. And the people that was in the video were black. Then the young man travels 30 miles in order to get to the location where the protest was happening. Then his friend who illegally purchased him a gun, an AR, clearly gets on the stands and tells the world, yes, I did this. And then the person who bought the gun for this underage minor, his father, so-called, says that he only unlocked the safe because he was scared of the protest that was going on that night when Kyle Rittenhouse drove 30 miles from the location in which he lived to go to the location in which that person stayed. And that person just so happened to unlock the safe because the civil unrest going on. That's all bull stuff. And it's all coming out that it's all bull stuff. It's all coming out that the judge sat on the whole decision of whether or not he should throw out the gun charge case, because if he would have threw it out immediately, the prosecution would have been able to go to the appellate court and have him taken off the case. That's why he waited until he was deep into the court case to say, you know, that that's not where he said that. That's a whole nother subject. We'll get to that in a minute. But he waited until deep into the court case to dismiss the gun charge, knowing that the person would not be able to go back into the appellate court at that time. But here's the kicker. He even admitted that he himself sat on that decision to not bring it into the courts. This is something that was brought about. This was something that was brought about due to the issues of the court. By issues of the court, I mean the kangaroo court that was taking place, the theater court that they were showing you, to where they were basically saying, we're going to back anybody that wants to come and shoot at protesters. And this is a fact. This isn't a joke. This isn't me saying out of my own ass. Hell, even the white media has brought this up. Let's get into this case. Let's dig a little deeper. Mark Richards, the lawyer for Kyle Rittenhouse, has said too many people, guns, excuse me, let me rephrase. I was a little upset. Has said to too many people, said too many people run around with guns. Only an hour after client was acquitted of charges related to fatal shooting in Kenosha last year. Let's check the date on this. What is the date on this? Mark Richards, Kyle Rittenhouse, lead attorney at the Kenosha County Courthouse on November 15, 2001. In Wisconsin, he told CNN, were too many guns in society. This is November 15th that they said that this happened. However, from the looks of this report that I researched and pulled up, it was actually stated on the 21st after the Rittenhouse case. So I want to check. I'm going to check into this because this was posted on Saturday and today is Tuesday. Okay, so yeah. All right. So, regardless of when it was posted, I thought it was posted on the 21st, but I'm going to admit my wrong here. Apparently, it wasn't posted on the 21st. It says it was posted on Saturday by Brandon Cole. And Saturday, and I'm looking at the calendar, would have been the 20th. And that's fine. But as I stated to you guys in my last broadcast, oh yeah, definitely he's going to be stating things like this. And several other people are going to be stating things like this because they just set a precedent and they know it. Their little white lies have become to a big black truth. And that is going to happen from this henceforward is going to show relation to that judgment that they just fucking brought onto the world. Well, to the United States. I know people are going to go nuts when I say this, but there's too many guns in our society, Richard told CNN anchor Chris Cuomo. I call him Cuomo because he's a goddamn creation. He's like Chrome. He's like Google Chrome. He's a creation, but when you go to this person, you can't get any real information unless it benefits him or white supremacy. And this is a fact. This is a fact. Rittenhouse, 18, was found not guilty on all charges over the shootings of August 25th, 2020 during protests in Wisconsin City that erupted after police shot a black man, Jacob Blake, 2 days earlier. So for all the people that keep on talking about why is this a black issue, this is why it's a black issue, because he went to a black protest to shoot black protesters. Because weeks earlier, not even weeks earlier, a week earlier, he was caught on camera talking about how he wanted to shoot black people if he had AR. And 2 weeks before that, he was on TV. Excuse me, he wasn't on TV. He was recorded that should have been on TV, that should have been in the news, that should have been in the media. He was recorded beating up a white girl from his school because of the fact that she was getting into a fight with one of his friends. And it wasn't even a male friend. Even if it was, it wouldn't have mattered. But he was the first person, after the two girls started to fight, he was the first person to hit the woman. So why everybody coming around talking about we're protecting women beaters and all this other stuff? These same people are doing the same thing. The only difference is we're not protecting anybody. We're speaking truth to light. Facts on facts. Because they will lie to you and claim that he had a legal gun, even though the gun was purchased by a person that was his friend, which is, in legal terms, a straw man purchase, which is, in legal terms, illegal. It's illegal. So, we have all this stuff going on. But when I first saw this article, Rittenhouse was carrying an AR-15 type rifle during the protest, and the prosecution had depicted him as a vigilante. What else would he have been? Because the statute that they tried to use was saying that he was able to hold that gun because 16 and 17-year-olds were able to hunt. But the difference is that a lot of people are trying to not bring up or speak on, because everybody else is bringing this up, that it was a straw man gun. It was illegal. It is illegal to purchase a gun from anybody that isn't a licensed dealer under the age of 18. You can't do it. But yet, they want to say that what he did was legal, which is a lie. That's actually federal crime because the ATF is supposed to jump on that. Where's the ATF? Okay. We're not even going to talk about the ATF in this one. Let's just continue to move along. Because the truth of the matter is, why are they now saying this when they were trying to defend this person, this, that, and the third? I told you in the last broadcast what it was about. And if you don't remember, this is what it was about. This is what it was about. On father-daughter duo march alongside anti-Rittenhouse protesters to protect them. Oh yeah, you didn't open the fucking door that you don't want opened. So now the white media is trying to, what is it called, track their steps, retrace them steps that they took and cover them up in snow. And this was the purpose of this. Of him saying that, because they already knew this was going to happen. The judge has been caught lying in too many instances, talking about he usually allows the defendant to pick the alternate jury when all reports, even in the white media, says that that is a lie. He has never allowed that to happen. In addition, no judge in the history of America has ever allowed that to happen. Look it up for yourself. But they already knew what was going to go on and what was going to happen. They were setting a precedent that they didn't want everyone to follow and abide in. Because guess what? Now, this 16-year-old girl can walk around with an AR-15 with no problem. The only difference between her and Kyle Rittenhouse is that she said that she wouldn't have shot her gun if all that stuff what was going on happened to her. And then she also is accompanied by her actual factual father. I'm going to play this video and we're going to get into it. 100-fold. Now, let's read into it. Protesters upset over the acquittal of Kyle Rittenhouse marched in Kenosha on Sunday in the presence of a Second Amendment supporter, father-daughter duo armed with AR-15s that said, "We're to protect the demonstrators." Now, the real quote says, "We are here to protect the demonstrators." Other news outlets are saying that they claim to be there to protect the demonstrators, but the real quote says that we are here to protect the demonstrators. We just do security for different groups. We're doing a favor for them, Eric Jordan, 50, told the Post while walking alongside his 16-year-old daughter, Jade. Here's another kicker that I loved about this whole situation. Jordan said he's been training Jade to use firearms since she was 4, but only let her touch a weapon once she was 14. He said there was protecting a restaurant and 2 parking lots in the area on the night Rittenhouse shot 3 people, including fatally amid protests over police conduct. Rittenhouse has claimed Rittenhouse has claimed he fired in self-defense, although, end quote, "I probably wouldn't have fired my weapon," end quote, Jade said. Why? Because when you are highly trained in firearms, you don't have to use the firearm unless it's absolutely necessary. And the whole fear of the black man thing, the fear tactic, I'm about to break that wide open. I took a class to get my license to carry. Me and my mother both took a class to get our license to carry. And the teacher of the class asked me what I would say if someone was to break into my house and I was to have to shoot them dead. And I told him straight up, I would let the authorities know that he broke into my house and I released my firearm. And he told me, you would go to jail. Even though the laws are the way that they are, he told me you would go to jail because it's not about protecting property. It's about intent. Did you have to give deadly shots to that person? And as a person who studied law, it didn't click to me until after he said it's about intent. And then everything clicked in the back of my mind. Like a snap. It clicked in the back of my mind why he was saying that. And then he went on to say, let me tell you what you're supposed to say. This is a white man who was law enforcement for 26 years before becoming a person to teach and give licenses to people to open carry a pistol, firearm, rifle. And his exact words was, you need to let them know I feared so much for my life, I had to pull the trigger. Because anything else is going to be considered as a pre-thought, predetermined. You already knew what you wanted to do, so that didn't make it self-defense. The same reason why this isn't self-defense. He went there with the intention of shooting people. He said this in several videos. He went there with several people who were witnesses that they excluded, that they didn't let testify, said that he was pointing guns and laser pointers at him and them for sitting on vehicles. But that whole situation has turned to this situation. And this is why I support black empowerment. You think guns empower you? No. The mindset that this black man has to be training his daughter from 4 years old to know how to use a gun. The mindset that this black man has to walk with these anti-Rittenhouse supporters, with his daughter, with those AR-15s, is greatness. Because you don't see nobody going out there with their pistols as well, do you? Black or white. But our two brothers and our little sister is out here with the AR-15 looking strong. But they knew this was going to happen. They knew this was going to happen. Soon as they was going to find Rittenhouse not guilty, the first thing that they did was deploy 200,000 National Guards in the expectation of the verdict. They made this man look like a little boy all throughout the fucking case. But every sense of the matter, every bit of the case, every step by step tells you the same thing. That this man, because he's over the age of 18, took every step in his power, took every step in his authority to be in a place that he shouldn't have been. And people like Jimmy Dore love to talk about how he was a lifeguard in that area. He wasn't on duty at that time. He was trying to save lives. He lied to the court and then admitted on the stands that he was not an EMT. So Jimmy Dore and all these other people who are sitting here trying to defend this terrorist thug, they're showing their true white supremacist culture, their true white supremacist nature. They're masking over it. Jason Burmis as well. And anybody associated with him. I can't say everyone, but it seems like anybody associated with him. The Convo Couch tried to have a conversation about this and said that he was going to get off and Flo was called a white supremacist because she was saying she wants to see things happen, I'm not even putting them in a bunch with these people, because she stated out of her own mouth that it looks like that this system is going to let this kid off. But she also stated that she wasn't in favor of that. So I'm going to give her a little bit of dues on that. But they sure are using that show. They're using Jimmy Dore's show. They're using Jason Berman's show to reach these independent people who don't watch the media, because they know the media are liars. I just had to come to you guys early. I wanted to come to you guys, on a day that I probably wouldn't release a video, but still, I'll release a video anytime the video is needed to be released. Anytime the broadcast needs to be shown, it's going to be broadcasted, and I'm going to make sure that it is. Not everybody knows this information. Not everybody understands that although they want white people walking around, white children walking around with pistols and guns without issues, they definitely don't want an armed man and his daughter walking around with AR-15s, because other news broadcasts say that they claim they're there to protect protesters. Oh, they don't give the benefit of the doubt like they did to Rittenhouse. They don't pick apart things the way that they should with white people, the way they try to pick apart things that they shouldn't with us. At the end of this article, it says the Reverend Jesse Jackson had expectations to attend the march, but did not make it. I wonder why. Because Jesse Jackson is a part of the empirical arm. Jesse Jackson, freaking Al Sharpton are a part of the empirical arm of white supremacy. Hell, if you don't believe me, all you gotta do is look up Al Sharpton's history. You'll be able to find that he was a CIA informant, which worked with the CIA for many of years. And then you'll realize what COINTELPRO was talking about from day one. What Hoover was talking about from day one when he talked about COINTELPRO. That they will give you your leaders, but those leaders will be a product of white supremacy. If you found any value in tonight's broadcast, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, comment. Let's have the conversation. Because it's becoming of us. It is a situation where we have to speak, and if we don't speak, guess who will speak for us? Guess who will speak for us? The same thing that happened with the Ida B. Wells movie that went on Netflix. They made her out to be all kind of stuff that she was not, including a feminist. They made her daughter out to be LGBTQ, which she was not. If we don't speak up for our own interests, we're not going to receive what we speak up for. We're going to continuously go through this stuff while we have black people or white people in blackface going along, either spewing our talking points but working against them, or just completely working against them, because white supremacy likes to take both sides of the argument. We need to speak up. We need to talk out. Same way that all these people are going against Venus and Serena Williams because they made a movie called King Richard about their father and how powerful as a black man their father was, how he protected them throughout all the years that Venus and Serena was playing their game and being called monkeys all over the place wherever they freaking went. When all the white media was trying to tear down these little girls, we had a black man standing up to fight for his daughters. Now, whether or not they married white men or not, that's not even my concern. That's on them. Even though I don't agree with it, because what they end up doing is putting the money that they just got from all these devils back into these devils' hand by marrying these white men unless they got prenups. But you gotta give love where love is due. Give appreciation where appreciation due. Because if more black fathers would be the way that Richard Williams was to their children, the way he was to his children, protecting them, guiding them, showing them that your self-esteem is the biggest thing that you have, and I ain't gonna let nobody take it from you. We had more black men like that, I guarantee you. The system would already been crumbled. But the problem is, we have these black men and women that are apologetic to white supremacy, and they want to be a part of it. So what do? Anytime white supremacy say something, they go bootlicking and they go over there trying to repeat all the terms that the white supremacist has said. But they don't have any type of intellectual really standing to withhold anything that they're speaking about, to actually hold down their point. I spoke to somebody earlier today who sat here and tried to discuss how Rittenhouse's case was legal and all this other stuff. And after I get done breaking them down, talking about how the gun was illegal, how it was purchased by a straw man, how that is a federal crime, where's the ATF, where's people who are outraged due to this little kid going around toting a gun that he wasn't supposed to have, and even if he didn't cross state lines with the gun, he purchased the gun, or he didn't even purchase the gun, his friend purchased the gun, his friend's father had the gun, he traveled 30 miles from where he was in order to get to Kenosha, where he was not on staff that night, because he's supposed to be a lifeguard. He went down there telling people and lying to people on the stand. He told the truth, but down there he told news broadcasters and police that he was EMT. He told the police that he was able to carry that damn gun, and he's carrying the gun. But then on the stand, he made it seem like the police told him that it was okay that he had the gun. Hearsay. Never get a chance to hear who told him that. What was the officer's name? What was the badge number? You didn't get any of that, did you? It's important for us to stand up and start speaking up. More and more of us, we control this narrative now. We control the way this goes down. And at the end of the day, if we go down, it's because we allow it. But people like me, people like you who care because you hear, people who care all across our community, I'm not going to start throwing off names and all this other stuff. Whoever you deal with, whoever you subscribe to that shows you what I'm talking about are better or more. Therefore us, let's move with it. But all of us, we control the narrative now. There is no white media that can come in and speak to us about what's going on, because now we're getting smarter. Now we're getting stronger. Now we're getting more and more ability to see through the bullshit. And we're speaking to that. Much love to everybody on this broadcast. You are now tuned in to the truth. If this is your first time hearing this podcast, if this is your first time hearing this broadcast, welcome to the Church of Black Power. And the doors are now closed.